I'd like to start off with a question, and the question is this. Do you suppose as a trend, security is becoming more and more important or going to be less and less important? And if you, like me, think it's going to be more important than ever, I would agree with you, because securing our systems and our assets is going to be the name of the game, and security can't just be an afterthought or sprinkled on top. It needs to be integrated in virtually everything we do, including our systems and networks. So let's make this personal, because I found that the more personal we can make this, the more we can apply it to our production systems. So let's say, for example, that we've got email. So, which is not a big stretch, I know. So if you and I have an email account and we're reading our email, it's very likely that we're expecting no one else to be able to read our email. Or if we're logging into our bank account and we're looking at our bank information or our credit report, it's very likely that we want that information to be private, not exposed to the world so just anybody can see it. Well, that concept is referred to as confidentiality. We want to make sure that only the authorized people, us in this case, can see the data. Well, in a computer system, one of the big tricks is realizing, okay, where is the data? Is it stored on a server? Is it stored on in the cloud? Is it being transmitted over the network? So we need to identify where the data is and then make sure that we're maintaining that confidentiality of the system. Oftentimes that's done with a combination of encryption. So we're encrypting the data as it goes across, or sitting on a disk or in the cloud, and also making sure we're using the appropriate authentication and authorization controls so that only the authorized individuals can log in and actually see and access that data. So that C, confidentiality, is a big aspect of information security. A second aspect that we want to be aware of in our puzzle is integrity. Now, integrity can mean a couple, many different things. Integrity can mean say what you mean what you say, and do what you say you're going to do. Having personal integrity, that's a great thing. And in computer networks and systems, when we talk about integrity, it refers to integrity of the data. Meaning that if we're sending data from point A to point B, we want to make sure that data doesn't get manipulated or changed by any unauthorized party in transit, in addition to keeping it confidential. So data integrity has to deal with the fact that we have belief in the data, that the data is accurate, and also that it hasn't been manipulated or hasn't been changed by unauthorized individuals. Another critical security element regarding information systems is availability. We want to make sure that the data and the apps are available when they're needed by the appropriate party or process. So if a person cannot, or if a system can't get to the data that it needs in the right time, that data is not going to be too valuable. So an acronym that can help us remember those three elements: confidentiality, which means only the right people can see and work with that data; data integrity, meaning the data is trusted and it's not being manipulated by unauthorized individuals; and availability. The acronym that's helpful in remembering all that is CIA, like the Central Intelligence Agency in the US. Well, CIA can help us remember as a framework some basic elements that we're trying to implement in information systems: confidentiality of the data, data integrity, and availability. And I would also tack on, for that last A, I'd also tack on auditing and accounting, that we can go back and take a look and verify what happened to the data or the systems based on an audit trail. So that's a great starting point in the world of information security, is those basic concepts. And in the next video, I'd like to take a look at the idea of a vulnerability and the various methods that vulnerabilities, these weaknesses, can creep into our systems. So we'll take a look at those in the very next nugget. Meanwhile, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.